push that 5 for you. I do that 3 more times again, I testify for you.
Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your girl Kimberly B, as you can clearly see below, and I'm coming to you guys today with a video on how I do the perfect press-on manicure at home. These press-ons are really only about $6, and I'm able to successfully do them at home, and they come out looking so nice and so neat. Let's get into it. So of course, before we really get going, I just want to briefly go over my supplies. This is the nails that I'm using in this video. It's the Kiss brand Everlasting French Tip nails. It has 28 nails in the packet and the length is medium. Again, the packet usually is around like $6 at your local Walmart, but you really only use 10, of course. So they're really like $3 a set, which is awesome. And then, of course, I have my nail glues. This LA Color nail glue it's not my favorite, but it does work nice and neat if you need it for a backup. But as you can see, my absolute favorite is the Kiss Pink Gel nail glue. Usually those come in like nail packets, so I always have a bunch of them left over. But that's my all-time #1 fave. You're also gonna want to keep some nail polish remover on deck. We'll be using it to dehydrate the nails later, and then your basic tools such as the nippers, the cuticle pusher, and trimmers and stuff. So going straight in, I'm using this nail cutting tool just to trim my nails. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut them down a bit. You don't want to cut them down too short where it's touching like the pink meat, but you do want to have a little bit of white left over, of course. And then also, as you can see here, I'm going in with my cuticle pusher just to neaten up my cuticles and push back any, excess cuticle that may have overgrown onto the nail. It just gives it that neat look. I enjoy using this, definitely. So once I've used that cuticle pusher tool, I'm also going in with these cuticle trimmers. Some people don't prefer using these, but I think it just gives it that extra nice look. But you do want to make sure that you're being very careful when going in with that tool, of course, because you don't want to cut it too short to where you're actually cutting your skin and giving yourself like opportunities to have excess cuts on your cuticles. It's very uncomfortable. So be careful, beware. And then next, of course, as you see, I have my nail file. I'm just going in just to file the nails and get my tips pretty smooth and ready to go. So next, of course, when getting ready to do the press-ons, it's best to go ahead and pre-size each press-on nail and customize it so that it can fit your actual nail itself. So sometimes if you notice it's not the perfect fit, I go in with my nail filer and I just file a little bit off of the sides. But you don't want to do too much at once, of course, because you can end up messing up the press-on itself. So just take your time, file it, check and see if it fits again, and then, go ahead and file as needed. And of course, when you're choosing your press-on nail sizes for each nail, you're better off going a little bit bigger than with the too small nail, because you can always file the press-on so that it will fit your natural nail. All right, so going right into the next step, we're gonna prep our nails by using the nail polish remover to dehydrate the nail beds. This is actually one of the tips that I think is like a game changer in helping your press-ons to stay on your natural nails longer. It just helps a lot with the adhesion and just to make sure that it's ready to go. And then next, honestly, this is like the biggest game changer right here though. It's kind of like the equivalent of when you go to the nail salon and they use that like nail drill bit on your nails before they actually apply the acrylic nails and the base and all of that with the little ball and all that, you know what I mean? So why I'm doing this is just so that I can rough up my natural nail beds, and it makes the glue and the press-on stick and last a lot longer. So once I've done that, we are ready to apply the press-on nails. And of course, with filing on the natural nail, just make sure that you're being careful that you're not going too deep, of course, because you don't want to flat out just damage your nail beds altogether. So to apply my press-ons, I like to lay the press-on nail down on a flat surface, and I put about 2 to 3 dots in the actual press-on itself. And then I go and I center the glue in the middle of my natural nail. I always like to center in the middle. I don't worry about the edges, because once you lay the nail down, the glue is going to spread. So it's like the glue from the press-on and the glue that's on your natural nail. It's like once they combine, it spreads and it'll cover those sides, and you don't even have to worry about it. So one tip I have, make sure that you focus your glue right in the middle. And then when you're applying the press-on nail, I like to apply it from the base, so like where my cuticle is, and upward. So you'll see, of course, as I keep showing you with each nail how I do that. but you just want to make sure that like you're laying it down from the base to the top. And when I hold my nail down, I'm holding it down for about 30 seconds. So at this point, I realized for all of those pink gel glues that I had sitting around, most of them were empty or dried out. I was like, what the heck? No, this one ain't dry too. You got to be kidding me. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Wow. There's no glue in here. Are you kidding me? And it's a brand new one. It's brand freaking new. So y'all, like none of my glues work, so as you can see, so by this point, I made it to Walmart. I was able to pick up another pack of some Kiss nail glue. I got the PowerFlex Max Speed one this time, and I was pleasantly surprised. It actually became my number 2 fave. Now, the pink gel is still always going to be my number 1 fave, but this one actually became my number 2. So it actually kind of worked out in my favor, you know. But in the store, of course, I'm making sure I'm shaking it to make sure it is not dry before I make it home, because I need it to work. So now, of course, getting back into the actual tutorial, my apologies for the mini vlog. I just had to include it because I could not believe that went down like that. But anyways, that's life for real, honestly. Things happen. So as you can see, I'm applying that pressure for 30 seconds. You want to make sure that you hold it long enough to give it all time to adhere. And going back into the process, of course, I start by putting that glue into the actual press-on itself on a flat surface. Secondly, I put the glue in the middle of my natural nail. And then I apply it from the cuticle to the top. So as you can see, I'm laying it down and I'm pulling it backwards to bring it flat. So bottom to top, base to top. Always remember to start at the cuticle. And that also is how you get like that professional look where it looks like it actually could have been done professionally, because you don't have like a random gap in between where your cuticle meets and then, you know, where the actual press on starts, you know. So it'll give you that fresh look for a little bit longer. And then lastly, of course, when doing the press ons, I always leave my thumbnails for last, because of course it just makes a big difference, you know, and applying that pressure to the other nails. My biggest tip for the bigger thumbnails is to make sure that you use enough glue. If you use enough glue, it'll help you to avoid some of those air bubbles. I know that's like one of the worst things sometimes, especially on the large nails. It's so easy to get an air bubble, but if you make sure that you use enough glue and take your time with holding it down in place, it helps to prevent those. So lastly, of course, with these press-ons, sometimes they have like a little plastic nub at the end from probably like, I guess, like the warehouse packaging or whatever. You want to go ahead and file those off, and then it'll help you to create that, you know, special chiseled shape. If you want them to look square, if you want them to look like, you know, little like rectangles, or even if you have coffin nails, you can always perfect and sharpen your shape by giving it an extra file. So once you finish applying your press-ons, you want to go ahead and make sure that you moisturize your hands, put some extra rings on. It just gives it that extra look. I absolutely love how they came out, and hopefully this helps you in your process of doing your own nails at home. Make sure that you subscribe, like, leave me some comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.